welcome to episode 2, season 2 of Time Out with Joy Benson. My name is Joy Benson and I am a senior HR specialist and training consultant of over 15 years who loves to change lives. I am your workplace and business coach. Now, today's podcast is going to be a bit long, but trust me, it's worth the watch. You're going to learn so much. Today, we'll be talking on evolving employee benefits, expanding support for a diverse workplace. Traditionally, employee benefits have been focused on essentials such as health insurance, pensions, and maternity leave. However, as workplaces have evolved and workforce demographics have shifted, companies worldwide are redefining benefits to accommodate a wider range of employee needs. Emerging trends such as pawternity leave, yes, leave for pet owners, are emerging. Grandparent leave and comprehensive elder care support are gaining traction globally, signifying a shift towards a more inclusive and employee-centric workplace. Now, some people might be saying, oh, this topic doesn't relate to me, but it does, because you could be the change agent as an employee in your workplace, introducing this idea to your company, or as an employer, you could, of course, enforce best practices. So listen carefully. Now, let's examine the current state of employee benefits around the world. I'm going to do some case studies from different countries. So we're going to take it one after the other. Now, employee benefits vary significantly worldwide, shaped by each country's legal framework, cultural norms, and economic conditions. I will take an overview of key employee benefits across various countries. Now, the first one I want to talk about is annual leave. In Nigeria, according to Section 18 of the Labour Act, every employee is entitled to a minimum of 6 working days of paid annual leave after 12 months of continuous service. Employees' leave should be taken at a time mutually agreed by the employer and the employee. The Act also allows for the deferment of leave by mutual consent, provided it does not exceed 24 months. Now, in the European Union, the EU mandates a minimum of 4 weeks, that is 20 working days of paid annual leave for its employees, as stipulated in the Working Time Directive. Individual member states may offer general entitlements. Now, in the United States of America, there is no federal mandate for paid annual leave. However, it's customary for employers to provide around 10 days of paid vacation after 1 year of service. Now, I would like to hear your comments for those of us who live in these different countries. And you could share with me and with us on the platform more about your benefits that you have in your country. Now, let's move over to Australia now. Australia, employees are entitled to 4 weeks of paid annual leave per year. Shift workers may receive up to 5 weeks. Second benefit I would like to talk about is the sick leave. In Nigeria, Section 16 of the Labour Act provides that every employee is entitled to up to 12 working days of paid sick leave within any calendar year. This entitlement is contingent upon the employee providing a valid medical certificate from a registered medical practitioner. Now, in Germany, employees receive 100% of the salary for up to 6 weeks for sick leave. This is followed by sickness benefits from their health insurance. Now, let's move on to the UK. In the United Kingdom, statutory sick pay provides a flat rate of about 116 pounds and 5 pence per week after 4 consecutive days of illness, covering up to 28 weeks. That's quite good. Employers often offer enhanced sick pay schemes as well. Now, in Sweden, employees are entitled to 80% of the salary for the first 2 weeks of sickness. Interesting. All right, so I'm sure you begin to notice the disparity and the different regulations depending on the country that you're working in. Now, the third employee benefit that we're going to be looking at is the maternity and paternity leave. In Nigeria, while the Labour Act does not explicitly detail maternity leave provisions. Other regulations and state laws have addressed this gap. For instance, in the public sector, female employees are generally entitled to 12 weeks of maternity leave with full pay, which can be extended in certain circumstances. Some states like Lagos State in Nigeria have extended this to 24 weeks for their employees. It's important, of course, for employers to consult specific state laws and organizational policies to ensure compliance. Now, paternity leave in Nigeria is not explicitly provided for in the Labour Act. However, recognizing the evolving dynamics of family responsibilities, some states and organizations have begun to offer paternity leave in Nigeria. For example, Lagos State grants 10 days of paternity leave to male employees. Employers are encouraged to develop internal policies as well that support family inclusivity. This policy appears to have been implemented through administrative directives rather than codified legislation. So in Nigeria, I think we're at the point where we need to upgrade this to a codified legislation. In France, however, female employees are entitled to 16 weeks of paid maternity leave with a possibility of extension for multiple births or complications. Fathers receive up to 28 days of paid paternity leave. Wow, I like this. Japan, mothers can take up to 14 weeks of maternity leave at partial pay. Ugh. Fathers are entitled to 12 weeks of paternity leave with recent reforms, which has this just came up recently, and it's encouraging. This has encouraged increased uptake. In South Africa, female employees are entitled to 4 months of unpaid maternity leave. While paternity leave is not mandated, however, fathers can take up to 10 days of parental leave. South Africans, please, I'd like you to jump in on this. I need your comments. What do you think? Is this really what I really want to know? What do you think about this? Number 4, the pension contributions. Pension contribution. In Nigeria, the Pension Reform Act of 2014 mandates a contributory pension scheme for employees in both the public and private sectors. Section 4, subsection 1 of the Act, the minimum provides for the minimum contribution of 18% of an employee's monthly emolument, with the employer contributing 10% and the employee contributing 8%. An employer may choose to make the total mandatory contributions without making deductions from the salary of the employee. However, in such a case, total remittance for any employer who chooses to remit without recourse to the employee must not be less than 20% of the monthly emolument of the employee. These contributions are remitted into the employee's retirement savings account managed by licensed pension fund administrators. In Canada, the Canada Pension Plan requires contributions from both the employers and employees, totaling 11.9% of an employee's pensionable earnings and is split equally. In Singapore, the Central Provident Fund mandates contribution of up to 37% of an employee's wages, with varying rates based on age and wage bands. In Brazil, the General Social Security regime requires employers to contribute 20% of an employee's salary to Social Security, while employees contribute between 8% and 11% depending on their earnings. Now, the fifth employee benefit we're looking at now is the health insurance. In Nigeria, Section 4, Subsection 5 of the Pension Act requires employers to maintain a group life insurance policy for their employees, with a minimum coverage of 3 times the annual total emolument of each employee. This policy ensures that in the event of the employee's death, their named beneficiaries receive the insured sum. The Employee Compensation Act of 2010 provides a framework for compensating employees who suffer from work-related injuries, diseases, or death. Employers in Nigeria are required to contribute 1% of their total monthly payroll to the Employee Compensation Fund, which is managed by the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, otherwise known as NSITF. This fund ensures that employees or their dependents receive adequate compensation in the event of workplace incidents. In the United States, employers with 50 or more full-time employees are required under the Affordable Care Act to provide health insurance. The specifics of coverage and cost sharing varies widely. In Germany, health insurance is mandatory, with contributions shared between the employers and employees. Employees earning below a certain threshold are enrolled in statutory health insurance, while higher earners can opt for private plans. In Australia, the public health care system, Medicare, provides coverage for all residents. Employers may offer private health insurance as an additional benefit, not covering services not included in the Medicare. Now I'm going to talk about something I've gotten a lot of questions on, and which is redundancy and severance pay. In Nigeria, Section 20 of the Labour Act addresses redundancy, mandating that employers should inform the trade union or workers' representative of the reasons and extent of redundancy. An employer is expected to negotiate redundancy payments considering factors like length of service and terms of employment contracts. Another employee benefit is medical benefits. While the Labour Act in Nigeria does not explicitly mandate to employers to provide medical benefits, it is customary for employers, especially in the formal sector, to offer health insurance or medical allowances. Organizations enroll their employees in the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, or provide private health insurance plans to ensure access to medical care. Let's go into work-life balance initiatives across different regions. In Europe, the Work-Life Balance Directive aims to improve family-related leave and flexible work arrangements. Member states of the European Union are required to implement provisions such as 10 days of paternity leave and 4 months of parental leave, with at least 2 months being non-transferable between parents. In Australia, the recent right to disconnect law allows employees to refrain from engaging in work-related communication outside of standard work hours without facing penalties. I like this. Initially applied to workplaces with 15 or more employees, this protection will now extend to smaller businesses by mid-2025, which is this year. In Japan, starting in April 2025, Japan will implement a 4-day work week for its 160,000 government employees to address work-life balance and encourage higher birth rates. This initiative aligns with global trends aimed at enhancing productivity and reducing employee burnout. The rise of non-traditional employee benefits such as grandparent leave, supporting multi-generational families and extended families play a critical role in caregiving, and grandparents often support their children by helping raise their grandchildren. Grandparents leave is an emerging benefit that allows employees take time off to support their children when they become parents. I know I benefited from it when I first had my kids. So why does this matter? Why is grandparent leave so important? Many working professionals rely on their parents to care for their newborns. Employees need time off to help with postnatal care for their grandchildren. In a country like Nigeria, there's something called Omugu, where parents go to take care of the grandchildren. It promotes, and one of the benefits of the grandparent is that this promotes family bonding and reduces stress, especially for first-time grandparents. Implementation strategies by companies for grandparents leave could include offering 3 to 5 days of paid grandparents leave when an employee's child has a baby, extend family leave policies to cover caregiving responsibilities beyond nuclear families, allow for flexible or remote work options for employees balancing work and family responsibilities. This will drive employee engagement and retainership in the organization. Another benefit that we should look at introducing is comprehensive elder care support. We're addressing the aging population. Many employees care for elderly parents and relatives while balancing work responsibilities. I take care of my elderly parents. Elder care benefits is important to provide support to employees managing the health and well-being of aging family members. But why is this important? It's important because you see, there's limited government support for elder care, which puts a bit of financial and emotional pressure on working professionals. Employees often miss work or experience burnout due to caregiving responsibilities. Providing elder care benefits can enhance employee loyalty and reduce absenteeism. So how can companies implement these strategies? First of all, introduce paid or unpaid elder care leave for employees caring for aging parents or sick parents. Provide financial support for medical bills, home care, or assisted living support. Create employee support groups for caregivers to share experiences and resources. I would dare say partner with healthcare providers to offer elder care services at discounted rates to your employees. While many labor laws currently do not mandate these benefits, companies can voluntarily adapt them to improve employee satisfaction and retention. Of course, this would definitely improve your brand image and create a stronger brand with the public for your organization. But I'm not blind to the fact that as companies, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, there are cost implications to these benefits. So every company should first look, before offering these benefits, should align budget constraints and business sustainability. Employers can phase in these benefits gradually, starting with unpaid leave options. Companies should also document and update their employee handbooks to outline eligibility criteria and application processes for these benefits. HR teams or the HR manager could conduct an awareness session so that employees understand their entitlements. Also, cultural acceptance. While some organizations may resist the pawternity leave, that means leave for persons with pets, because it's due to cultural norms, it's a mental health support, because you see, some people do have these pets as emotional support animals, and they do need that leave to take care of their pets when they are sick or require care. Now, elder support would aligns better with the Nigerian family values actually, and it might be easier to implement here in Nigeria. Now, I will also suggest that companies conduct employee surveys so that you can determine what benefits matter most to your workforce. It's not all about you, it's not what you think. Hear from the people themselves. So, in conclusion, what's the future of employee benefits? As the world of work evolves, employee benefits must evolve too. Traditional benefits remain crucial. However, forward-thinking companies must recognize and support the diverse needs of their employees. Thank you. So I would like you to do not forget to subscribe to this channel and click like and share. And most importantly, I want to hear from you. What are the employee benefits in your country and the place where you work and where you live? So, see you next time in the next episode of Time Out with Joy Benson.